So, what if the secret to a healthy scalp wasn't actually in a bottle, but in your own nervous system? Today, we're going to explore a pretty fascinating procedure that tackles hair health from the inside out by basically hitting a reset button on your body's own wiring.
I know. It sounds a little bit like science fiction, doesn't it? But that's the real question we're unpacking here. Can a super targeted procedure in your neck actually kick off a chain reaction that helps your scalp? Let's find out.
All right, so first things first, what exactly is this neuro reset? To really get it, we need to break down what the procedure is all about and, the specific problem it's trying to solve. When you boil it all down, this is where everything starts. The entire process kicks off with just a single, really precise injection. It's a local anesthetic, and it goes into a key nerve cluster in your neck. Now, the target itself is what's so interesting. It's called the stellate ganglion. You can kind of think of this as a critical junction box for your nervous system. It's the thing that controls the fight or flight response for your entire head. Yep, the very system that clamps down and constricts blood vessels when you're under stress. So, how in the world does targeting this one little nerve cluster lead to such a huge change in the scalp? Well, it all comes down to this powerful and honestly almost immediate chain reaction. The key mechanism here has a name. It's called a sympathetic blockade. So, that local anesthetic we just talked about, its whole job is to temporarily hit the pause button on those fight or flight signals that the stellate ganglion is sending out. It basically tells that part of your nervous system to just chill out for a bit. And this is where it gets really cool. So, step 1, you've got the injection. That leads directly to step 2, the blockade. And when those fight or flight signals get silenced, the total opposite happens. The blood vessels, which are no longer being told to squeeze shut, do a complete 180 and just open up, wad. That's called vasodilation.
And this is the perfect way to picture it. Imagine all the tiny blood vessels in your scalp are normally stuck in this constant state of rush hour traffic, right? Bumper to bumper. This procedure is like flipping all the traffic lights to green at the exact same time, transforming that whole congested mess into a wide-open, multi-lane expressway.
So the most important immediate result is this, a massive, and I mean massive, rush of blood to the head and scalp. And we're not talking about a tiny improvement here. It's a huge boost in circulation, just flooding the area with all the oxygen and nutrients it needs to grow. Okay, but here's where it gets even more interesting. This whole thing isn't necessarily meant to be a standalone cure. A lot of the time, it's used as a powerful first step to create synergy, to supercharge other hair therapies. And this quote from the source material really gets to the heart of it. The idea is simple. First, you create the absolute perfect physiological environment, a scalp that's just flooded with blood flow, and then you go in with other treatments like stem cells or exosomes. You're basically preparing the soil before you plant the seeds. It just makes sense. So in practice, it becomes this comprehensive, three-pronged attack. First up, you have the neuro reset, which opens up all the pathways. Second, you've got procedures like microneedling to introduce regenerative stuff like stem cells to kickstart repair. And then finally, you add the crucial third piece to the puzzle. And that final step? It's a session in a hyperbaric chamber. So after you've created all that amazing blood flow and introduced new growth factors, you then blast those cells with pure pressurized oxygen. You're giving them the absolute maximum fuel possible to do their job and thrive. So let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture here. Because this isn't just a random collection of techniques. It's a whole treatment that's built on a really cool core philosophy. This right here is the main takeaway. The entire approach is about working with the body's own systems. Instead of fighting against the problem, you're triggering positive physiological changes to let the body do what it does best, which is heal and regenerate itself. And that really leaves us with a fascinating final thought. If we can use this idea to unlock blood flow for scalp health, what other challenges could be solved by finding the right physiological reset button? It's a really powerful question about the future of wellness. Thanks for tuning in.